Now, isn't that funny? 3 times I tried to record this video yesterday. Today I recorded it and felt I was going to be so successful, and it was all in flow, and at the 19-minute mark, for some reason, the phone just stopped recording. I feel like I need to check my teeth because I just decided I would eat some lunch. I'm not going to redo the first video. There was a fair amount of flow there. I've already uploaded it. I'll process it in a few minutes. Where we left it, but I'm going to complete it because even as I mentioned in the first video, I don't understand why these kinds of snafus happen. And then when I was eating, I realized that I actually had more to say than I thought. So here we are. Maybe the remaining messages in this video truly are important and need to be shared. And that's why the universe came in and said, no, we're going to stop this now. You think you only have 2 things to share. Actually, you have 3. Where we left things in the last video, as I was summarizing the Mercury in Scorpio video with the retrograde in the middle where we are right now, I was introducing or talking about the concept of compassion and emotional perceptiveness. And I'm going to develop that more in future videos. But ultimately, that is a great Scorpionic gift, the ability to look at someone from a relatively still perspective and truly understand what is going on with them. Truly. As I mentioned in previous video, truth with a capital T, and in the last video, the distinction between facts and the truth, all come into play with something like this. I'm talking about emotionally understanding someone through a compassionate and understanding lens, almost in a Tolstoyan sense. I'll develop that more in future videos. Number 2, there's something about Scorpio. When I was thinking about this video, the image that came to mind, when you're looking for a ring or you're looking for some keys and you take pairs of jeans or trousers and you invert them and you shake them so that if there's something in them, it can fall out. This particular season, this idea of, investigating in a Scorpionic way or Scorpionic themes has that kind of feel to it. Relationships, enmeshments. Should we come together more? Should we start living together, metaphorically speaking or literally speaking? Should we see what it's actually like and whether we're compatible in real and financial ways before we get married? Or should we not? Should we contemplate separating altogether because this relationship is no longer happy or healthy and creates a great deal of stress? All those kinds of themes, there's almost this idea of whatever it is that you're going through from this enmeshment perspective and whatever truth with a capital T you are investigating, somewhere there's this image in my mind around this Mercury retrograde period of picking up clothing and shaking it so that whatever it is that you're looking for can fall out. And sometimes what you're looking for simply isn't there. Sometimes it will fall out and it will need that shake, and sometimes it isn't there. I will reiterate again before I get to the thing that I really feel like this video is for in a second. I feel like such a dangerous thing to do given everything that's been going on. I will reiterate again that there's both an active component to the investigating that we've been doing since November the 1st and a passive observing component to the investigating we're doing. And it's the observing component that is important. And here I come to what I thought I was not going to share, but I'm going to share. Another word to use for this time period is wait. Remember that decisions made, contracts signed, while Mercury is retrograde typically have to be redone or rethought after Mercury goes direct. So in this kind of observation period where you're observing and you have this uneasy feeling that the actual truth and what is being communicated are 2 separate things, and you're observing behaviors and things are being revealed even though they're trying to be hidden or gaslit, you will at times be compelled to take action, and you should. And then there will be a domino effect of that, and you should observe what comes out of that, because it may not be, you could ask a question and say, do you go left or right? And that question may fundamentally remain unanswered, but what comes at you could be, oh, what's going on here? Even more revealing. And so this need to just wait and observe. Mars comes into Scorpio on the 19th of November. On the 19th of November, Mercury goes direct on the 20th. By the 24th, 25th, 26th, we are getting clearer. You will take action. Decisions will be made. But unless you have Mercury retrograde in your birth chart, this is not a time when you're going to be feeling like you're in sync with things, or it's not a time to put dot the I or cross the T. It is a time to go over and relook at things, relook at past decisions, relook at past decision making when it comes to finances held with others and relationships to some extent. It is a time to investigate. It is a time to go over details 3 or 4 or 5 times. If a contract is presented to you, do not sign it without reviewing it a few times. Make sure that everything that has been communicated is there and you understand what it means. Sometimes we have no choice. We have to take that job. We have to sign that contract, and you may need to. But there is this, the whole reason why I feel that that pause button was hit with the last video is this particular point. This is not necessarily the best time to make decisions and seal the deal. This is a time to be in observation and lean into some of the problematic and more emotional muckraking that is going to come from digging up these old bones or shaking the trousers to see what it is that falls out and whether there's any substance there or not, or what is really going on. And what you observe will be more telling than what is actually presented to you. So if you do have Mercury retrograde in your birth chart, Mercury retrograde periods may be times when you feel really in sync with the world, but there's something with your decision making anyway that is out of sync in some, or out of tempo with the rest of the world in terms of, you know, when it comes to communication. So you could reach some critical decisions at this point in time, but you could still wait to sign the contract or seal the deal in December. So unless you absolutely have to, don't be in a rush to close the book on something. That time will come. Phase 3 will last for November the 20th or so, November the 19th to January the 3rd. And at that point in time, all sorts of handshakes can occur. One more thing that is coming up for me to mention. When it comes to the Mercury retrograde cycle, the time period when Mercury retrograde meets up with the Sun, I'm not going to go into the technicality, and then goes direct and goes over the degrees for the final time that it has gone back and forth over, can be more painful emotionally, more troubling in terms of what it is revealing than the first half of the Mercury retrograde. And we are just about to enter in 2 days' time this second half of Mercury retrograde, the Mercury retrograde cycle, when Mercury retrograde passes by the Sun, then on November the 20th goes direct, and around December the 9th leaves Scorpio. So till about December the 5th, 6th. Just some of those discoveries and some of that processing some of those truths with a capital T, that is going to be the heart of what we're going to have to deal with. So just buckle up a little bit, because the things that are initiated and the things that are revealed and the things that come out may take your breath away a little bit. Okay, I think we're done now. So feel free to share the videos if you find them useful wherever you like to share them. Share the first one. What I'm going to do when I finish processing this is at the end of the first one there will be a link to this one. At the end of this one there will be a link to the first one. So depending on what you're coming to, you'll be able to go back to the other Mercury in Scorpio video that I just did earlier today. My contact information is going to be in the description area. If you're interested in a reading or want me to make an easy to read version of your birth chart, you can contact me there. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. Click on the bell icon so you can be notified whenever I do new videos, and we will leave it at that until my next video. Thank you very much. Bye.